Boom! We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Nolan Hawkeye Anthem YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. So if you guys don't know, you guys probably can't see it. Unfortunately, in an attempt to continuously improve the quality of my channel, I did, and this was more of a aesthetic upgrade. I On Amazon, I looked up, I saw somebody else's channel that had this Thunderbolt on it, and I thought that it looked cool. So I decided to get it. But the issue that I'm running into is the upgraded camera that I got is a purposefully focused on the object, blurred in the back type of camera. So um I'll see what I can do there. Hopefully it doesn't bug you too much. I also got this one right here. You guys definitely can't even see that one. But so anyways, there was an article that I saw, and I've talked about it already a few times. You guys know this when reviewing the Iowa basketball men's recruiting class. Chris Tadjo. I highlighted that one of the recruiting services on 3 had him rated well higher than all of the other services. I mean, I'm talking well higher. And it's even more now with their upgraded recruiting rankings. Chris Tadjo, according to On3, is approaching 5-star status. Okay. So check it, guys. Look at his rating according to On3. They have him as a 96, the 38th best player in the class. That would make Chris Tadjo, for any recruiting service, this will be the highest rated guy, not consensusly. Okay, I'm not saying consensusly because the highest rated guys consensusly would have been like a Tyler Cook, Joe Wieskamp, Patrick McCaffery was up there. Let's see. Adam Woodbury, Mike Gazelle wasn't too bad. Trying to think who else. Those would be some of the highest rated composite guys. But if you were to break up all of their highest rankings within the composite and pick the site that had the highest rating for each of them, Chris Tadjo would have the highest. Okay. Checking in at 38th in the country. Probably Joe Wieskamp, Tyler Cook, Adam Woodbury would be the next 3 in the Fran McCaffery era. But this is remarkable, guys. They 38th in the country. Look at this. This is crazy. And I'm not surprised. The film that I saw of his, everything I said was written in this most recent article. This was a guy that Iowa was in on Donnie Freeman pretty heavily. Unfortunately, he chose Syracuse. But look at this, guys. Look at, okay, right here, 38th. He's ranked higher than legacy recruit Cooper Coach. Actually, Cooper Coach would also be in there as some of the highest rated composite guys. I mean, let's look at Cooper Coach. Okay. I mean, this was one hell of a steal for the Iowa Hawkeyes, is what I'm saying, because they got him really late in the process. And that's the thing, especially in basketball, where there's all of these academies, there's all of these prep schools. There's a ton of hidden gems that, for whatever reason, were not as highly touted coming out of high school. They go to a prep school and They have all the physical traits, all of, we saw that with Chris and Keegan Murray. They went to IMG Academy in Florida. And because of the recruiting tentacles that Iowa has and the connections they have, they are now, Chris and Keegan was a little bit easier because they were legacy recruits, but they're able to find guys like that, guys like Chris Tadjo. I mean, look at Cooper. So consensus, he is definitely a 4-star. Okay. Cooper is definitely one of the top 5 consensus highest rated recruits in the Fran McCaffery era. But none of his ratings are higher than what On3 has for Chris Tadjo. So yeah, basketball is weird. There's guys that maybe were younger in their senior class. They were a young senior comparatively, so they go to a prep school and they play with kids that are actually their own age, and it makes it more accurate, the assessment that coaches are able to do on them. Let's say maybe they didn't have the academics coming out of high school. Maybe they went to a really small school. Maybe they grew up overseas, as Chris Tadjo did. So let's read this article here. I think after I will talk a little bit. Sorry, guys, my camera is glitching like crazy. Let me see if I can do this, and then maybe it will be better. We'll see. Sometimes technology is not the best, guys. You guys know that. So Chris Tadjo is an interesting prospect. Aside from the unique nature of his game, actually, I need to share this real quick. All right, let's get back to it. Aside from the unique nature of his game, he is originally from Montreal, Quebec, and plays for the NBA Academy Latin American team. There has not been much domestic exposure for him, which leads to good reason why he is not yet a household name. Here at On3, we are higher than the industry on the 6'8" forward, ranking him as the number 38 player in the updated 2024 On3 150. On3 leaves nothing to question when we talk about the objective of our rankings. The goal is to assess a prospect's long-term potential, ultimately manifested by the NBA draft. So, in other words, On3 does not rank players purely on what they are in high school or what they will be in college, even. It's what will they be? What could they be if their game is fully expanded at the professional level? When all is said and done, what could their game end up being? So that means that they believe Chris Tadjo has excellent NBA upside. This is why we will shoot to end each cycle with 14 5-star prospects following the lead of the NBA draft lottery. This can be different from others, but our vision when creating our ranking is draft night. On3 has Tajo ranked number 38. He is ranked number 149 by 247 and remains unranked by rivals in ESPN. Tajo is the number 86 ranked player in the 2024 On3 industry ranking. Criteria can be different across the industry when it comes to players and the order they are ranked. So let's break down why On3, where am I at here? So let's break down why On3 is higher on Chris Tadjo than the industry. Let's see. Incredible physicality. Hold on. I don't know why this is being stupid. There we go. You guys can check out his highlights here. This is a video. BioSteel All-Canadian MVP Chris Tadjo. When sitting courtside to watch Chris Tadjo, the first thing you notice is the frame. Let's see who this is written by. Jamie Shaw. So he's a national writer. He is listed at 6'8" and around 225 pounds. He has a lengthy wingspan as well, which allows him to play bigger than his listed height. What really sets Tajo apart is his quick twitch and explosive athleticism. Even with a frame this big, Tajo is a quick leaper off the floor. He anticipates well for his first jump, but his second jump has him at its peak before others are even in their load to take off. This helps him on the defensive side of the ball, especially when rebounding. For players this size, it can be somewhat rare for them to be both quick and explosive. Those two are different when talking about a player's athleticism. For me, quick talks more about how fast you accelerate, going from a standstill to full speed. Quick is mostly brought up when talking about changing direction or acceleration. For me, explosiveness is talked about more with jumping. How high are you? How fast are you going when you have a full head of steam? So he has a lot of that. Tajo's superpower is rebounding. I talked about that myself in previous video. He's an excellent rebounder, which Iowa could use big time this year. Man, him next to Owen Freeman. I saw somebody post on Facebook that if On3 is right, he should be the starting 4 next year to Owen Freeman. But here's the thing, guys. That's going to be what Iowa needs to figure out. Is he more of a power forward, a small power forward, or is he more of a big small forward? Now, you could say that in modern basketball, they're virtually interchangeable. You know, Peyton Sandfort stands 6'7". Ben Krieke stands 6'9". Patrick McCaffery 6'8". What I see with Chris Tadjo, just looking at previous Iowa basketball players, is a combination of Chris and Keegan athletically and size-wise, obviously. Not skill. He's not where they were offensively yet. They had a very well-rounded game because they played most of their youth career as point guards and shooting guards, 6'4", 6'5". And then they grew and they were able to transition the skill that they had as guards over to forward. I also think he compares very well to Aaron White. So, but then again, Aaron White could step out and knock down threes. Aaron White was an average to solid shooter from the perimeter. And from what we're hearing thus far, that's not him quite yet, this guy. So I think that Tajo, when he comes in, will be more of a 4, but as he develops, he can become more of a 3. Okay. I don't think he will start for Iowa right away because, honestly, Iowa has some good young pieces already. I like Lagi Dembele a lot. And I actually think down the line, if Chris Tadjo can develop a average jump shot where it needs to be respected at least a little bit, if Iowa could have a lineup that has Tajo, Dembele, and Freeman, that's a really athletic, strong front line. And then it says the offense is developing long-term outlook for Chris Tadjo. Looking at the highest levels of basketball, players need to have certain physical traits. The average NBA player for the 2023-24 season is 6'7", 215 pounds. November 2023 article, The Sporting News, tells us that there are only 6 players in the NBA this season under 6 foot tall, and there are 13 who are exactly 6 foot tall. So there are less than 20 players currently in the NBA that are 6 foot tall or below. Of course, being short does not matter much when speaking on Chris Tadjo. However, it helps to illustrate the point that physical stature does matter when it comes to the highest levels of basketball, along with the physicality aspect. Positional versatility helps as well. Tadjo's ability to guard multiple positions is sought after at the highest levels. That's very true. Where Tajo will need to continue growing is on the offensive end. As an 18-year-old, he can be a matchup problem with the ball because of his strength and quickness. He will need to continue adding to his range, adding to his handle, and developing some counters on the block. Some past players that the NBA Academy Latin America has produced include Benedict Mathurin, Olivier Maxence Prosper, Omar Balo, and Santiago Vezavi, to name a few. Of course, all of the previous conversations about the highest levels of basketball. I look directly ahead for Tajo, and you can see a lot of skills that should translate to the college game, especially when playing in a system that spaces the floor like Fran McCaffery does at Iowa. He will bring a toughness factor to the paint and show capable of doing multiple things on the floor. With Tajo, it will be about his development, being sure to continue to focus on the things he already does well while fine-tuning and adding pieces that will translate to how the game is played looking ahead. So there you guys have it. The next thing, real quick, that I want to do is show you guys where Iowa basketball is currently at. Ken Palm, they pretty much have consistently stayed in the 50 to 60 range. They're at 55, 18th adjusted O, 150 in adjusted D. Of course, they just lost to Penn State. So here is the reality, guys. the games that hurt Iowa the most, I think Iowa would squarely be in the NCAA tournament if they had not lost to Michigan and they didn't lose to Maryland at home. Hell, even if they had only lost to one of them, I think they would be in really good shape. They are currently not in the NCAA tournament by most publications. That's kind of flip-flopped back and forth. They are not out of reach by any means. I mean, they are definitely they're on the cusp, okay? But Iowa has a very tumultuous remaining part to the season. And I told you guys a couple of weeks ago when when looking forward to the future, they're currently 64th in the net. So if Iowa wants to make the NCAA tournament, they're going to have to get inside the top 50 of the net. I told you guys that Iowa was going to have a really nice stretch. So let me pull up Iowa basketball schedule. I told you guys that they were going to have a really, gosh, so tired of these dang pop-ups, dude. So I was talking about, I think I started looking at this from about Minnesota onward. The Maryland loss was terrible. And again, Indiana and Penn State were both very winnable games. And Iowa lost both of them. Had they only lost one of them, things wouldn't be so bad. So I would say if Iowa loses to either Minnesota or Maryland, they're out of the NCAA tournament for sure. Okay. Definitely if they lose to Minnesota, their NCAA tournament aspirations are over, aside from winning the Big Ten tournament. Okay. But with that said, they have a lot of opportunities to pick up some quad one wins. If they can pick up 2 quad one wins in their final 1, 2, 3, 5 quad one games, they will definitely have a chance at the NCAA tournament. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about Iowa landing Chris Tadjo. Very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about the Iowa men's basketball team. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy with facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Go Hawks. Bye-bye.